Well, good Monday morning, everyone. I'm so glad you tuned in to Inspiration for today. It warms my heart every single time you do because you and I get to share the journey of life, starting each day off with either a verse or a passage or something that gets our gets our motor running, doesn't it? Because Jesus is what our lives are about. And if you're not there yet in your spiritual journey, welcome. Just come and see how it goes and see if you like starting your day off with a good, positive thoughts. And not only that is sure the truth this week. This week, we're going to look at end times. What do I mean by end times? The earth, as you see it behind me, is not going to last forever in its current form, in its current form. But Jesus is coming again. There are climactic events that are going to happen, and you get to know about it. And you know how I know? Because it's in the Bible, the Word of God. Why are we going to do this? There are a couple of reasons. Let me give them to you. One, our church, Saddleback Laguna Woods, has been reading through the New Testament together in the last 8 weeks. And we come next week. Next week is week 8, and we'll be done, and it includes the book of Revelation. And so, to help us understand what we'll be reading there, I thought I wanted to spend this week talking about the various events so that you can put it into perspective. Secondly, our men's weekly Bible study, and that's on Wednesdays. And I'd love to have you come out. So they're going to be starting the study of the book of Revelation very soon. And so it'll help all you men that are in that. But most of all, people are just interested in what's going to happen. And you and I are too. I am. Of course I am. And the Bible tells us a lot. Now, let me ask you this. There are hundreds of prophecies about Jesus coming the first time as the Messiah for Israel. Do you know how many of those prophecies came true? 100%. 100%. And guess what? There are that many prophecies, if not more. Actually, scholars say there are more about the second coming of Christ. And you know how many of those prophecies will become true? Same number, 100%. And you know why? Because God is the author behind the human authors. And when he gave them insights about what was going to happen, he already knows. And that's why all the first ones were true, and all this time will be true. Now, today, I just want to kick us off with this one basic fact. And that is, know for sure that Jesus is coming to earth again. The creator of everything you see behind me, he's coming to earth again. And it'll be in bodily form. We'll see him in somewhere. There are events around that, and we'll talk about the various specific events in the next few days. However, I just want to start with this basic truth. Because, not everybody is aware that Jesus is coming back to earth. I mean, there are people that, despite all the tremendous evidence, there are people that deny that he came the first time, which is really silly because not only do we have the evidence of the Bible and all the changed lives in the church over 2,000 years, there are Jewish historians, Josephus being the most famous, who recorded that Jesus came. And in fact, Josephus even recalls that he rose from the dead. No, it was well recorded. It's true. Now, how do we know he's coming back again? Well, let me just read a couple of probably 50 passages I could read, but I like these a lot. In Acts chapter 1 at verse 9, the apostles are out on the hill and the risen Jesus is with them. And then something spectacular happened. Verse 9, chapter 1. After Jesus said this, he was taken up into heaven before their very eyes, and a cloud hid him from their sight. Can you imagine? Just picture yourself being there. They were looking intently up into the sky, as you and I would be doing. As he was going, when suddenly two men dressed in white stood beside them. And these men said, "Men of Galilee, why do you stand here looking into the sky? The same Jesus who has been taken from you into heaven will come back in the same way that you have seen him go into heaven." Wow. You think if you were standing there and two men dressed in white suddenly appear from nowhere, who do you think those two men were? I'm totally convinced they were angels. There is no other logical explanation for that. Don't you agree? So two angels appear and they say this, and this is a key word, this same Jesus will come back in the same way. Not a different Jesus, not Jesus made over after renewing in heaven or something. No. Jesus, the Son of God, the infinite God himself, will come back right here. Isn't that exciting? That should be the best news that we could ever have. But we probably should not be surprised that these two men said that. You know why? Jesus himself said that probably 10 times. But here's my favorite passage. Can I read it to you? It's found in John chapter 14. I usually use it at memorial services. Jesus is speaking himself, and he says, "There are many rooms in my Father's house. I would not tell you this if it weren't true." And of course, Jesus can't lie. So it's true. I am going there to prepare a place for you. For you. You're going to have a room in heaven. And then Jesus says this that applies to exactly what we're talking about. I will come back and take you to be with me so that you can be where I am. You see, Jesus himself says, I will come back for you. I like this passage so much because it's so personal. There's going to be some events. We're going to talk about the other end time events the rest of this week. And they're as exciting. But I find this so great. Jesus is not only coming back to all of earth, he's coming back for you and me. Well, we'll talk about what's going to happen when he does come back. But if that doesn't happen during our lifetime, then it says our spirit goes to heaven, leaves our body. Jesus will be there. Jesus will take him with us to show us the room, or I like King James version says mansion, whatever. It'll be spectacular. Wow. What else is going to happen in end times? You better tune back in tomorrow and we'll discover it together. See you then.
Oh, come to the Father through Jesus the Son.